Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a genuinely profound and honestly kind of mysterious question. Is the universe fundamentally connected? We're going to examine two grand theories that come at the fabric of our reality from entirely different disciplines, yet somehow they point toward remarkably similar conclusions. We'll break down these dense concepts and map out the literal architecture of our interconnected reality. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the spooky interconnected universe, then break down Laszlo's Akashic Field, followed by Teilhard's planetary noosphere. After that, we'll compare the two theories side by side, and finally, look at the illusion of separation. Section 1. The spooky interconnected universe, grappling with quantum entanglement. Before we hit the specific theories, we've got to acknowledge that grappling with deep interconnectedness has historically unsettled even our greatest scientific minds. I mean, Albert Einstein famously called quantum entanglement spooky action at a distance. But, context is absolutely everything here. As our source material points out, early humans probably considered the concept of fire to be pretty spooky, right? And hey, we still have flat earthers today. The point is, human understanding evolves. So while the theories we're about to unpack might seem a bit, spooky at first glance, they represent incredibly serious attempts to model the actual mechanics of our reality.
So, this brings us to the central mystery anchoring our entire explainer. Is our universe fundamentally interconnected and actually informed? We're going to map out two distinct intellectual lenses that say yes, absolutely. One arriving at this through quantum physics and systems theory, and the other coming from evolutionary biology and theology.
Section 2. Laszlo's Akashic Field, the downward quantum lens. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is how Urban Laszlo reimagines an ancient concept. Akasha is actually an ancient Sanskrit concept, but Urban Laszlo takes this ancient philosophical idea and completely reimagines it scientifically as his A field. He proposes a pretty radical idea, that the quantum vacuum is not just some empty, dark void. Instead, it's a foundational subquantum field that literally holds the memory of every single thing that has ever happened. No way, right? But stick with me.
So here's how Laszlo argues this actually works mechanically. He proposes a holographic field connecting everything literally, from microscopic atoms to massive, sprawling galaxies. This field continuously records and transmits information across both space and time. Second, the source of this field is firmly rooted right in the quantum vacuum itself. And finally, its function, and this is absolutely crucial for understanding why this theory even matters, the A field explains how highly complex systems, like biological life, can evolve so rapidly. Instead of relying purely on random genetic mutations, the universe actually remembers its previous states to help seamlessly guide the future ones. It's like a giant cosmic hard drive.
To make this abstract physics concept a little more concrete, think about it like this. Just as a sea retains the wake of a passing ship, Laszlo's A field retains the traces of all events. It is a persistent, subatomic memory bank that actively informs the present and the future.
Moving on to Section 3, Teilhard's planetary noosphere, the forward evolutionary lens. So we're shifting gears now from the downward quantum lens of systems theory straight into evolutionary biology. Our focus here is on Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, who was both a Jesuit priest and a paleontologist. He coined the term noosphere. It derives from the Greek word nous, which means mind. So what exactly is it? Well, Teilhard envisioned the noosphere as a collective planetary mind. It's an entire layer generated by human consciousness, our social interactions, and our technological communication.
Teilhard saw this as a very clear chronological progression of Earth's development. First up, we had the geosphere. That's just purely inanimate matter, the rocks and the minerals. Following that, biological evolution kicked in and gave rise to the biosphere, the layer of living things. And now, as a third phase, we have the noosphere. This is the brand new layer of thought that currently envelops our planet.
But Teilhard didn't just map out the past and present. He looked all the way to the ultimate goal of this progression. He believed the noosphere isn't just static. It is actively evolving toward a state of ultimate consciousness and profound universal unity. He famously called this grand teleological destination the Omega Point.
Section 4. Comparing the two theories, foundational versus emergent. And this brilliantly illustrates how these two intellectual lenses actually stack up against each other.
The single biggest distinction between these two perspectives is really a matter of timing. For Ervin Laszlo, this interconnectedness is strictly foundational. The Akashic field is a fundamental property of the universe that has simply been there since the Big Bang. On the flip side, for Teilhard, this interconnectedness is emergent. The noosphere is a new development. It literally required millions of years of biological evolution to finally reach a level of complexity where a collective mind sphere could even manifest on Earth.
Let's neutrally break down their different approaches here. Regarding evolution, Laszlo focuses heavily on physical evolution, trying to bridge hard science with metaphysics. Teilhard, however, focuses on spiritual evolution. You can really see this in the language they use. Laszlo relies on the strict, highly technical terminology of systems theory and torsion waves. Conversely, Teilhard utilizes the language of teleology, meaning purpose-driven evolution, and finally, their ultimate goals. Laszlo's goal is scientific, bridging the gap between the measurable and the metaphysical. Teilhard's goal is deeply theological. He sees the noosphere as the universe quite literally waking up and returning to God through the convergence of human hearts and minds.
Section 5. The Illusion of Separation. Grounding the Abstract in Modern Technology. Let's move to how this builds into something we interact with every single day.
The crucial point here is how both of these theories view the technology you and I are using right now. Teilhard and later thinkers like Vladimir Vernadsky saw technology and communication as the literal nervous system of the noosphere. In fact, many modern theorists view the Internet as the very first tangible manifestation of this collective planetary mind. Now, Laszlo would absolutely agree that the Internet is a vital tool within the noosphere, but he'd argue that his Akashic field is the much deeper, underlying Wi-Fi signal. It's the universal signal that links our actual fundamental consciousnesses together, completely regardless of the physical hardware we happen to be using.
So as we summarize this, it really comes down to the direction of their gaze. Laszlo is looking down. He peers deep into the subatomic fabric of the quantum vacuum to find the source of our connection. Teilhard, on the other hand, is looking forward. He peers into the teleological, purpose-driven future of human evolution to find where our connection is ultimately taking us. They are observing the exact same interconnected reality, just from totally opposite vantage points.
Yet despite starting from completely different disciplines, using totally different terminologies, and looking in opposite directions, both theories arrive at the exact same incredibly powerful conclusion. Separation is an illusion. Whether it's a subatomic memory field guiding complex systems right from the dawn of time, or a planetary mind generated by our collective technological and social convergence today, the source material suggests that our universe is fundamentally, intimately linked. Which leaves us with a fascinating practical question. If separation is merely an illusion, how does that change the way you interact with the world tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning and keep looking for the connections.